Hello and welcome to the 2024 ARWS Monaco Grand Prix. This will be our season opener for the 2024 season. And we are seeing quite a few changes among the grid for this season, so let's get right to it. One thing that's not changing is Emma Kickert at Simpson. She will be starting on pole for this race. But alongside her is someone we haven't seen on the front row for a little while, even though he was the champion last season. And coming into this race is the first driver to, of course, be using the number one since 2020. That is Philippe Nicolas in the Holiday Ford. Holiday, of course, switching over to using Ford power for this season.
That's very strange that they switched from one of the more reliable engines to the Fords, which were known to be quite unreliable last season.
They were the most unreliable engine last season, I think, on record. It was just, but I believe it's a case that the team owner there is obviously from Detroit and has a bit of a personal connection, I feel, with Ford, and they're looking to try and, I think, be the factory team for Ford going forward. Another Ford-powered car, although it's, of course, rebadged to Jetstar, is that of Edvard Holm, who will be starting third, directly behind his teammate. And we're seeing a new face on the grid in the fourth position, another Ford-powered entry. It's Magda Srvanski in the March 16. March 16, of course, running a all-new driver lineup with a grand total of one ARWS race between them. We'll see how that pans out for them this season. On row 3, we have the racing point of Takuma Taki, winner of the season closing round at Macau last season. And that's the second of the two March 16s right alongside him. Right alongside him, it's Fina Watson in the, of course, the March 16. That has to be the best a Euromotor has ever qualified. It's Marco Jantscher in the very distinctive liveried Euromotor. We'll be seeing that during the race for certain. The Austrian driver switching to March 16, switching to Euromotor this season. Sorry, I'm all over the place. And we'll be starting 7th next to Amy Gauthier in the second of the two racing points. It's a familiar name, but not a familiar driver. Bradley Dagnall is the third of the Dagnall family to be driving in ARWS. He will be starting 9th in the second Euromotor, and leading the W12 brigade is Anu Võsu in the leading Adriatica. Võsu, of course, the winner of this race last year. It's her teammate in 11th place on the grid, Akio Yamamura in the second Adriatica. Next to them is the leading checkmate of Václav Malos. Checkmate, one of the I think is two teams to have completely run back the exact same driver and engine lineup. So we'll see if the stability plays into their hands.
The Bentleys were, I think, hopefully they have a lot of money back at them, so hopefully they got the engine situation sorted. So it's probably, we'll see if that's the right call for checkmate to stay as a B team, especially with Jones joining with the VW badge Bentleys.
Yes, it does seem that the customer Bentley engines have been outpacing the factory's effort. That seems to be a side effect of the massive fine that was levied to Bentley because of their very shambolic effort at the season closing Macau Grand Prix to close off 2023. Speaking of Jones, they make up the 7th row, switching, of course, from Ford power to rebadged Bentley power. They will be going under VW branding for this season. Diego Alvarez Torrente, the 2020 Formula One World Champion, out-qualifying his teammate Nathanael Cameron by just 7/1000ths of a second. So both the Joneses very equally matched there. On row 8, we find Andrei Kramnitsky in the second checkmate. And next to him is a new team for this season. It's the Yangwang racing team, taking over the former Block Monster entry. That's Alberto Cara returning to the grid in a full-time role. The Tropican driver after his one-off substitution for Bastian van Neuenhuizen in the Japanese Grand Prix last season. On row 9, we find Naoki Shinjo, the runner-up in the championship last season, also out-qualifying Kalon. So Lon behind, in fact, that's both of the Bentleys behind at least two of the i4 powered Yangwang and the V8 Mugen Honda, the two least powerful engines on the grid. So it's a very disappointing effort for the factory Bentley outfit. They'll have to hope that they can perhaps outlast their competition here. Lon, of course, starting 18th. But more disappointing is Humbert Moyamoudier, who is down in 19th with an i3 Ford engine. Of course, that's a very poor effort by Moyamoudier, it seems like the fairy tale season he had last year is not going to be the case this year, unfortunately for him. On next to Moyamoudier, we find Ben Fleet in the first of the two Foxdales Fleet, returning to the grid for the first time since 2017. So it's been a bit of a bit of time away for the long-time Foxdale driver, and of course husband to one of the team's co-owners, Pippa Mann. But Fleet already showing he hasn't really lost a step, out-qualifying his teammate Martin McFry by a fair margin here. On row 11, we find Pierre Saint-Laurent in the second Bentley, and next to him is Malik Zidane in the second Mecha Mugen Honda. Zidane, another one of the rookies on the grid. Just out qualifying another rookie, in fact, that's Aurora Summers in the Peak Motorsport entry with the Yangwang engine. Peak Motorsport, of course, have, through a series of mergers and acquisitions, taken over the entry of the Team Bert Anderwald entry from last season. And next to Summers is the second Foxdale, that's Martin McFry. Foxdale, of course, switching from Koenigsegg Power to Mugen Hondas in hope of emulating the success that Holiday saw last season with that engine. And on the final row of the grid, we have another debutante, that's Fuwan in the second Yangwang, and James Wilmington rounds out the back of the grid.
I was unable to talk because the dog was in my room. God damn it. But yeah, very interesting grid for the 2024 season opener. Further news very interesting news came that Alberto Caro has actually been contracted by two different teams, as Team Cascadia wanted to. Team Cascadia wrote a press release saying that they had contracted Gary Pacer and Cara, and that the Yangwang team essentially did it late, and it came to the Federal Commission for Tourism and Sport of Tropico making their own statement. So we will see how the Cascadia, Yangwang, Alberto Cara thing continues and unravels in the 2024 season.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting situation because Cascadia haven't actually been granted an entry spot for the 2024 season. I'm not exactly sure why they seem to think they have things lined up, because I never saw them on any official document as having being granted an official entry. But they've got cars, they've got Ford powered engines in them, and they've got, of course, the 2 drivers. So they seem ready. It's just a case of they haven't actually been given the entry yet. So yeah, not sure. Maybe we'll see them during the season, or maybe we'll just have to wait until next season to see Cascadia on the grid. Also, another couple of points. We're also not seeing a couple of familiar faces on the grid. Of course, Bastian van Nieuwenhuizen, unable to come to terms to re-sign with Racing Point, and has effectively been replaced in that team by Amy Gauthier. As well, Carmen Alvarez Torrente apparently never got a contract extension offer from Scuderia Adriatica, and the team instead decided to go with Akio Yamamura for the second car next to Anu Võsu. Not entirely sure what the problem was between them, but hopefully we'll see both of those drivers back on the grid at some point. Hopefully soon.
Miss Cascadia's drivers, there's no shortage of talent off the grid this season if they can't reach an agreement over the Kara situation.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see if they can actually secure that entry spot. But with all that out of the way, the start of the race is just moments away.
Well, it's time. 96 laps around Monaco.
Yeah, so that's Kickert on pole there, getting ready to lead them down into Santa Vot.
Number to go.
Great start from Kickert, and I think that's Edvard Holm making it. Oh, it's Simpson 1-2. It's a poor start for Philippe Nicolas from the front row down to 5th, as Takuma Taki now up into 3rd, and Magda Servansky maintains 4th position. Off the start, it's top 10. It's Marco Jancher up to 6th. Final Watson down to 7th. Bradley Dagnall 8th. Anu Võsu 9th, and Amy Gauthier down into 10th.
Contact. Saw some contact there with Torrente.
Yeah, looks like both cars are okay, but I believe there may be some issues on the second Jones. Indeed, that's Nathanael Cameron. Seems to be missing a big chunk of that rear wing. He's going to have to come in to get that fixed.
Well, that's not a great start for Jones. That was the flavor of the month at the end of last season, getting a couple wins, even if it was too late to do any damage to the championship. Oh, well, you can say they've done damage to the championship now with that broken rear wing on Cameron, as Kicker and Holm 1-2 with the newly covered Jetstar Simpson Motorsports car they were running the Coca-Cola scheme. Of course, we've seen some new liveries this season, including the holiday car that turned from a green and yellow Rolex car to this very fine-looking specimen, very reminiscent of the early 90s, late 80s Williams, as well as the Euromotor, which is literally the 2007 Honda.
Interesting choice from Rheinmetall. We have our opinions on the military-industrial complex. See the Caterham team in F1, but
hello.
I'll see Euromotor seem to figure out how to get some people with deep pockets to fund the team, and so far it seems to be paying off. But we have 94 laps to go to see if that car can survive the race distance.
I suppose... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to say that Marco Jancher, one of the returning drivers this series. Carry on.
Yeah, I was just going to say about the livery here. I suppose it's a better advertisement for their sponsor going with the Earth livery rather than building a better world one bomb at a time.
Well, I have things to say, but that would get me kicked out. So no. Anyway, Edward Holm.
And sorry, go ahead.
Edward Holm, 1 llama gained over the off season. We'll see how that works out.
Yes, that is. That's one of the big. That's really the only major story we've heard out of Simpson over the off season is the fact that Edward Holm, distraught about his horrendous luck through 2023, went on a bit of a journey to try and find himself. I don't know if he was successful in that regard, but he did find a llama, and he named it after his favorite driver, Stefan Johansson. Oh, and that is Voisu losing positions further back in the pack. Oh, that's missed.
Voisu front wing. Yep.
Yeah, lost a front wing somewhere along the way. Not entirely sure how that happened.
Was that from contact with a car or with the wall, though? See if anyone else has damage.
It doesn't seem like anybody else has damage, so I think it's I think Voisu probably got into the back of another car, but again, that's another bad luck story for Anu Võsu, who had nothing but bad luck last season after winning the Monaco Grand Prix. She'll come back in to get that front wing repaired, but already starting behind the 8 ball early on in this race.
At least she's let her teammate Yamura in. We're talking about unlucky drivers. That the Japanese driver has had a pretty awful season at the now defunct Block Monster team. We'll see if they have better luck at Adriatica. But it's been a rather turbulent couple of years. They had a pretty poor team defense at Super Formula back in 2022. So see if Yamura's fortunes start to look up this season.
Of course, another, well, I don't want to say addition, because it's a thing that we have seen on racing cars for as long as we can remember, but after a trial season in 2023, we have the return of the personalized driver helmet, so we will finally be able to tell our favorite drivers apart.
I mean...
Of course...
I can always do that with the card numbers.
Of course, also sponsored by DHL, because why not? One of the sponsors of ARWS, as well as, I believe, Fuji Sankei Group.
It's been a good start, actually, from Moyamudi. It started 19th, up to 10th already, so, cutting through those that early traffic very quickly. Now seeming to close in on the racing point of Amy Gauthier. Does not seem to really have the pace of her teammate in the early going here. She's already about 8 seconds behind Takuma Taki, who's holding down 3rd place quite nicely early on in this race. But it does seem like the iFree's quickly able to make their way up through the pack, and now all 10 of them are making up our top 10 currently.
It's not a track like Monaco. I'd have to say, tip my hat off to Moin Mutsi. He took advantage of some of the chaos to really carve up 9 places in 4 laps.
Yes, I think a big part of that might be the issues with, of course, Voisu and Nathanael Cameron had in the early going in this race. Of course, both of those cars having to replace broken wings. Now still circulating 25th and 26th, as we're still seeing the Simpsons slowly eke away with the lead here. Kickert still leading from home, about half a second between them. Doesn't really look like they're having any intention of fighting each other at this early stage in the race. Just likely trying to build a gap and try and secure as good a finish as they can.
Yeah, again, the question will be, last season was very high unreliability for the turbo i3 engine, so the question is if they tamper them down enough to let them finish the race distance more often. If that's the case, they'll probably be dominating much of the season. Like, if Ford managed to tap down the reliability even, like, somewhat.
Indeed. Speaking of reliability, a new point system was introduced for 2024. I wouldn't really say new, more like slightly refined after the controversy leveled at the 2023 point system, which a lot of people criticized for basically being a reliability championship, and that having Humbert Moemuchi, the slowest driver in the championship, finish third in the championship simply because he finished every race was a bit of a joke, which I kind of echo that sentiment. Sorry, Humbert. But for 2024 there has been a change, and essentially all DNF cars will also be receiving points, except for 26th place, which will not receive any points. So,
just to pour salt on the wound there.
I mean, part of that is because of the other slight change to the point system is that we'll be seeing 2 races at a couple of our races this season. The later round at the round later this season at Loudon, New Hampshire, and also Sanair Superspeedway in Canada. Both those tracks will be seeing 2 races instead of just the one, owing, of course, to the fact that they're ovals and therefore quite short. So, to compensate for the fact that there's 2 races there, those races will be effectively run at half points.
It looks like the unlucky driver is Cameron, who I've spotted in the pit stop, seems to have fallen behind a few other drivers who have pitted.
Well, no, the only other driver that's pitted is Voisu, and we have a
yellow
problem. It's James Wilmington in the Yangwang.
And there's no front wing, so he must have crashed.
He must, suspension failure on Wilmington's car likely caused the Pete Yangwang to slide into the wall there and out of the race. That's a very short race for at least the Yangwang of James Wilmington. We'll see if the others are able to fare a little better in this race.
So right on cue, James.
So we'll see if it affects their performance.
So right on cue, James Wilmington is the first DNF of the season, and thus he will be receiving no points. Every other DNF from now will receive some points into the championship, just so all the viewers will know.
We see a train starting to form for third with Taki leading a couple cars, at least.
And Final Watson is into the pits. That is an electrical problem on the March 16 of Final Watson. They're able to get the car into the pits, and that's a very early issue for Watson, but should hopefully be able to get those issues sorted, and will now be returning to the race. Admittedly, significantly down the field. Also, we've been focusing a lot on the leaders here, but it's been a good start for Aurora Summers in the other Peak Motorsport car, up to 14th in a relatively underpowered car. Alberto Cara in the factory Yangwang entry is in 15th. Both of them ahead of Andrei Kremnitsky in the far more powerful Bentley-powered Checkmate. So good start for those two.
I've had a hunch, but I feel like the Yangwang really gives me like late 80s Minardi vibes with that livery. Very interesting.
Well, they've gone for it's a very corporate livery. I know the yellow is from South China Morning Post, the sponsorship. Obviously, they're been a rather quiet opening. They had some interviews with their brand ambassador Leonardo DiCaprio leading to the season. I believe he is watching the race today, but he says also they're preparing for a long game. So after they're probably gonna focus on the engine, and they want to do. Looks like they may be trying to slowly build up their presence in ARWS, not try to pull a BAR 1999 for lack of example.
Well, I think the better example would be Braun 2009, but like they they don't want it to blow up in their faces like the AR in 1999.
Yeah, incidentally, like, Principality, they do have Braun, a different Braun, as one of their sponsors, the late edition from what I see. Obviously, it seems like there's still, the Simpsons are still in a holding pattern. They're not pulling away quickly. I think they're playing it safer now.
Also, another driver with a very poor start, it seems, in this race is Kalon, who is down in 19th and not really challenging the Mugen Honda-powered Ben Fleet ahead of him. Fleet seems to have had a pretty good start, up a couple of spots since the start of the race. Obviously, that's helped out by the fact that Võsu and Cameron have had to pit very early on.
Yeah, I think that was their first season with Texaco Oil as well. Interesting switch to the American oil company.
And now seeing Final Watson trying to make his way back up through the field. Watson, you may be wondering exactly what. Well, I did mention earlier that March 16's drivers had a grand total of one race between them, but you may be wondering exactly where that one race is coming from, because of course Savansky is a total rookie, but Watson, we've not seen a driver by the name of Final Watson on the grid, and that's because that's Finest Klep from last season, who changed his name after finding out that Klep was in fact not a traditional Polish name, which he was under the impression that it was. Anyway, now seeing him make his way up through the field, challenging Aurora Summers. This is for 14th position. Also of note here is that Pierre Saint-Laurent has actually made a pretty good start. He started a couple of spots behind Kalon, but he's now up into 13th spot, so that's 8 positions gained, but Lon has actually lost a spot since the start of this race somehow. So I think Lon probably had a little bit of issues in those first few laps. And I think there's been a change of position here. That is because Ben Fleet's transmission has failed in the Mugen Honda.
Oh, you cannot script that. They changed to the Mugen Honda Fox Day, and they still have a car breakdown early on. This is incredible.
Terrible luck for Foxdale, but at least Ben Fleet will be scoring 2 points in this race.
I find out how the veteran of the sport probably wanted to make his return. So I can't recall the last time Ben Fleet started an ARWS race. It was before the old organization shut down.
Yeah, it was his last race would have been in
2017.
Yeah, 2017. The end of 2017. He left right when Foxdale withdrew from the sport due to their financial difficulties at the time. Fortunately, they're back, and now Ben Fleet is back, but no longer in this race, sadly.
Yes, and they're a fan favorite, the team based in the Isle of Man, so it's good to see that they're back on the grid, and ARWS seems to have, so far only one team has fully departed from the sport, and so maybe this is a sign of the future that they'll have more stable grid presence in the new ARWS series.
Well, you can say that Ben's return to ARWS at Monaco was for a fleeting moment. Ha 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 ha.
They didn't put it in the water.
That's the kind of laugh you get. That's the kind of laugh you get when you hear a really bad joke. Speaking of bad jokes, Moemuche is up to 9th. A great...
Yeah,
well,
that would have been...
I'm not saying great, it's a bad joke.
No, that would have been due to the, of course, issues that Final Watson had. Watson was up in about 6th or 7th place, I think. Yeah, I think about 7th. as we're seeing the Simpsons again, not really a huge amount quicker, as Võsu making a move there on Fu Wen for 22nd. That's not really pulling away by very much are the Simpsons, but they are very slowly eking away. The gap from kicker to Taki was 2 seconds. It's now up to almost 3.5 seconds. So.
We're on board with Fu Wen, the Chinese driver. I know there's the potential curse of a team not hiring a driver from the same team could cause bad luck. I think that's what Yang Wan's doing with the Chinese sports car driver. I know probably we'll see how he handles the season.
Yes, I believe Fu's hiring by the team was likely just sort of a stopgap measure while they develop a more experienced homegrown talent within the Yangwang system to take over that car and really inspire a new generation of Chinese racing talent, as we're seeing Final Watson make his way up into 12th position now. That's past Akio Yamamoto for that position.
So, it seems that the Jetstar cars are slowly eking out a gap. It's 3 seconds, 3.5 to Taki from Kickert, and 2.9 from Holm.
So no one's made a trap past Taki yet. So they think everyone's kind of a holding pattern up front for now.
Then there's Shervansky behind Taki with Philip Nicola, the reigning champion, for Holiday. Then there's a 5-second gap to Yansher in 6th, and then a massive 13 seconds to... I nearly said Mark Dagnall. It's of course Bradley Dagnall.
So the battle for position here between Kara and who was the other driver? Kremnicki.
Yeah, Kremnicki, and that's Kalon there lurking in the background, trying to make up for his poor start. He's gotten around now, Kushinjo, it seems, but still trying to make up for lost ground. Gonna see if Kremnicki can get a good enough run out of the tunnel here into the Nouvelle Chicane, but no, that Kara's car seems quite quick in the straight line, even though the Yangwang engine is a bit down on power compared to the Bentley's, the disposal of Kremnicki and Lon. He's able to hold on to that position for now.
Yeah, but now they have, as they fight, they have Lon in the back waiting for a moment's strike. Looking at the timing sheets, I think Cameron's slowly starting to catch the tail end of the grid. I think Gwen is the slowest driver on track at the moment.
We'll have to see if Kremnicki could get a better run out of Portier here, down in through the tunnel towards the Nouvelle Chicane. Did not get a good run last time, but maybe this time he'll get a better shot at Kara. No, that gap doesn't really look particularly close.
Monaco's starting to show how it usually is, the narrow course and pretty slow, so it's going to be hard to pass.
Yes, I think a lot of the drivers, as we're seeing Võsu make her way past the Foxdale Martin McFry for 21st. I think we're seeing a lot of drivers in teams are probably biding their time, waiting for the pit stop window to open. We're expecting the either 1 or 2 stops today. 2-stop strategy window will open at about lap 20. We're expecting, so a couple of laps we might see our first cars start to make their way into the pits.
We're expecting 2 stops for most of the drivers here, or do you think any is a 1 stop or a 3 stop worth the gamble?
I think a lot of drivers are expecting are going to go for a 2-stop just to try and.
A lot of weaving. We see some weaving there from who was it?
That was sorry about that. That was have been the battle between Võsu and Malik Zidane now for 20th position.
I was talking about the Foxtail behind them. They was kind of.
Oh yeah, that's McFry. I think the issue there was just Võsu got caught out a little bit, exiting Sandoval by Zidane's line, and McFry caught Võsu a bit unexpectedly there. But I think Võsu should be able to make her way past Zidane through the tunnel here. Yes, Harman engine able to power her into 20th position. As we're seeing Nathanael Cameron also now start to finally make his way through the traffic at the back of the grid here, up to 23rd past Fulan.
We see not far behind. We see Emma Kicker soon going to catch up to the start lapping cars. And that's could throw a wrench in things.
Oh, still half a second home is following. We'll see how that unfolds between the two Just Star Simpson cars, but
Taki's
so far it's a 1-2.
Taki's 3.5 seconds behind the two Simpson cars now.
Yeah, there's a big gap that's opened up between 6th and 7th. Those are two Euro motors. That's about a 15-second gap between Jancher and Dagnall for 6th and 7th. Dagnall now with Amy Gauthier and Humbert Moyen-Moutier on his tail.
Speaking of this, Dagnall, it seems like he may be... I'm not gonna say he's slowing down the cars behind, but he's definitely making a bit of a gap for Jancher in case he pits anytime soon.
Yeah, I think this will really come into benefit Kickert and Home. If they're on a 2-stop strategy, they should be able to come out ahead of Dagnall here, and that'll give them a big gap to work with to get in some quick laps and maintain their lead over the chasing cars of Taki, Savansky, and Nicola.
See a bit further back, I believe that Jancher is somewhat, he's not that far behind. If this train slows down, I think he can definitely catch this group and maybe get to the fight for the podium spot.
Here's Diego Alvarez Torrente in 11th place, currently the only of the family in ARWS this season. Carmen has not found a seat for this year yet. She was quite vocal about it.
Jorge's also no longer got a seat after a brief appearance in ARWS. If anyone remembers him.
Carmen has been...
That is Võsu there making her way past. That is Shinjo now into 19th position, as we're still watching the two Simpsons flying formation at the front of the field. And now the camera director wants to go to look at Naoki Shinjo for some reason. Not entirely sure why.
Noticing another shuffle in sponsors. Mecha has always been a team that has managed to do a lot with not much, and they've always been able to wrangle a lot of local sponsors as the pride of Indonesia in top flight motorsport.
We're now on lap 20, so the pit window is open. We'll see if there's any takers, not among the top 5 at the very least on this lap.
It's quite quiet, quite calm up front. There's not been really changes.
Scramble at the start is kind of tampered out, and of course it's Monaco. Passing is a difficult art, as Ayrton Senna has said when trying to drive around this course.
I tried to say Carmen Torrentes was vocal about not getting a seat because she thought she deserved at least an extension from Adriatica. She didn't, because they decided to sign Akira Yamamura from Blockmonster, which is now the Yangwang BYD racing team. And she was not very happy about it. And so likely we will see Carmen Alvarez Torrente in ARWS this season, but more likely as a stand-in or super sub. or if someone underperforms. But that's going to that's a matter for future.
I mean, knowing
For the
Hero Mode,
future
will probably
of
pick up the
seasons.
phone after 2 races and ask her anyway.
Watson has moved up into the top 10 now. It's gotten to the back of that little diagonal train from 7th on backwards. So good recovery so far for Final Watson.
I know Home has been very superstitious. We know his camel, like we spotted at his yacht.
Is llama.
Down the
llama. He will have you know
llama.
it's a llama. He's very insistent on that point. Sorry.
Yeah. I think we've spotted at his yacht in the harbor earlier before the race. I know a bishop from Denmark has come to bless his car, like right before before the race.
We got a first stop for Malish.
Yes, this would seem to be a 2-stop race for Malish, who's been very quietly running around in about, I think, 12th place, and
Yep.
just minding his own business, running a quiet race, trying to pick up the pieces when inevitably some of those ivories will probably expire at some point.
Yep, so far so good for Malish. He's in clean air, just in front of one of the Adriaticus, if McFry's in as well. So Malish Pit, he qualified ahead of Kremnitsky, which is a plus. It's definitely a positive for Malish. You of course want to beat your teammate. Sherbansky's in the pits as well. He's in a good race.
Get some clean air if you're further back, because you really don't want to be held up at Monaco for too long.
Yeah, it looks like McFry and Savansky here will be coming out into clean air. In fact, yeah, Savansky well ahead of the little diagonal train there. So this could work out quite well for March 16 if Savansky can get in some very quick laps here and maybe jump ahead of Takuma Taki in that battle for third.
Indeed, let's mark the Servansky. I don't even know if she's a former Red Bull Junior, because she was in the Red Bull Junior team, but since there's a team sponsored by Red Bull and she's not in it, I have quite literally no idea what her current situation is regards to that. But she's 6th after pitting, a very solid debut for the former F2, F3 racer.
Don, is this for position?
Yeah, that's the recovering Nathanael Cameron there, trying to take 21st position. He'll need to get a move on here because the Simpsons are coming in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Refresh me on the blue flag situation for ARWS. Is
What's
it
a blue
required
flag?
to move? I mean, I guess they are advisory, like, as it is in endurance racing. They'll let you know, but you gotta pass them.
Yeah, exactly. It's if you need a flag to pass a car, you really shouldn't be passing that car.
Yeah, they seem to make it work in endurance racing, so obviously it's some debate on whether their effectiveness or whether they should be used. And we see, I think this train's really starting to pile up behind, I believe that is the Dagnall.
Yeah, that's Dagnall, and Skrymnitsky in, Võsu is in. So, interestingly, they did not convert Võsu to a different strategy after that earlier incident, but she is still recovering through the field as we've got yellow flags around the...
Pastor Kane.
Yeah, that is Marco Janša, the oil leak on the Pure motor, and the world is on fire.
Yeah, that's not helping the Earth much if it's on fire. I mean, maybe they can throw it into the swimming. Are they going to throw it into the swimming pool? Or are they going to throw it into the swimming pool?
That seems to be the plan there. They do that to put the. Oh, McFry's back in with a brake issue. Oh, that's a tough break for McFry for Foxdale, but if they could get this fixed, he should be able to finish the race, assuming he doesn't, like, crash it somehow.
Yeah, well, it is a tough break, but he'll get it fixed. So maybe not a tough break after his stop.
We see
Storente,
other pits are getting ready. Looks like we see other pit crews getting ready for other drivers.
Yeah, it's a lot of two-stop strategies in, and seeing now Pierre Saint-Laurent in the Bentley entering the pits. Still not seeing the Simpsons into the pits yet, so although the two-stop window will still be open for a few more laps.
I not see their fuel counter because they could be going for a one-stopper for all we know.
I think we've got. Oh, in fact, Saint-Laurent comes out right ahead of Edvard Home. Ooh, that was.
That's Saint-Laurent.
Yeah, that was very close to being contact there between the second place car, and Home really forces the issue there to get back ahead of Saint-Laurent. He does not want his teammate to be getting too far ahead, as we now see a fastest lap from Magnus Cervanski on those fresh tires. That is definitely playing into the hands of the March 16. If the Simpsons are on a two-stop strategy, this could well see Cervanski jump ahead of them, because she was only about 3.5 or 4 seconds behind them when she made her pit stop.
Yeah, considering how horrendous his luck was last season, I'm not surprised Holm is starting to be less of a goody two-shoes sort of driver, getting the elbows out like that.
The 22.5 from Cervanski, which was several seconds, I think it was like 4 seconds faster than Kickert. So
yeah, that last lap from Kickert was 1:26.8, although I believe she was negotiating traffic at that point. But yes, that is 4 seconds quicker by Cervanski. She's now caught up to the, that is the Jones of Nathanael Cameron, but still a bit of clear air ahead of Cameron if Cervanski can get past the Jones without too much issue.
Yeah, I mean, at least Cameron's spit, so
That field's a bit scrambled
should be a little
right
faster.
now. With now we have the main leaders going to lap traffic. It gets starting to disturb the peace of the
24.6.
Cervanski right around the outside.
We come up about to get out Destino. No.
No, just backed out, but no, still holding it on the inside, entering Mirabeau. Can Cervanski make this stick? And she does.
I think she does. By the hairpin, Yamamura pits for Adriatica from 10th place, which is the same as his car number. It was lap 27, so we're closing to 1/3 distance here in Monaco. Been just over half an hour, I believe.
Yeah, Summers also entering the pits.
Oh,
now,
Holm is stuck.
Making the move on the inside of, that is one of the mechas, that is Naoki Shinjo. Still within a second of his teammate, so he has recovered a little bit from that little contretemps with Pierre Saint-Laurent earlier. They're now...
Yeah, also also crucial, the gap is 16 seconds to Cervanski now, so Magnus really pushing here, and
that's another retirement, and it's all seems to be on the V8, so the i4 Yangwangs. Typically the engine that you would expect to be the most reliable, but they seem to be having the reliability issues here in Monaco. That's now Naoki Shinjo out of the race. This final Watson now returning to the...
That was Zidane, sorry.
So that was Zidane, sorry, my bad.
So, it was once again the mecha not driven by Shinjo, as is customary for the last 6 or so races.
Yes, that was a very odd streak. It was, what, 5 retirements in the final 6 races for Tomo Kazuma in the second mecha, and now Zidane makes it 6 from 7.
Not in this, who did not get a drive for 2024.
Something's going on there.
Nikolai and
Nikolai,
Taki are losing a lot of time in this traffic to the leading Simpsons. That gap has ballooned to a full 7.5 seconds. As we're now seeing Servansky 15.5 seconds. If the Simpsons are on a two-stop strategy, this is going to put Servansky in a sensational position to take her first win, potentially, if she can convert the strategy.
Oh, just look at these
When does the pit
gaps.
window end? If they keep going, they may be going for the Simpsons. Maybe going
Yes,
for a
yes.
one
If they're going for the one stop, they'll want to be pitting lap 35 or later. Ooh, that is Taki there.
That's Taki.
Very late on the brakes there, trying to get a bit of a gap there over Nicola. It seems to have panned out for him, though.
Servansky just passed. Oh, that's what Nicola passed. I think he's gonna gun for the Japanese driver. Taki's been leading this train for a good third of the
I thought
race.
there's gonna be trouble. Servansky.
Yeah,
She's gonna be
Servansky
stuck.
is not that far behind. As we're now seeing that is Takuma Taki now making his own way into the pits. So Taki also on the two-stop strategy.
Servansky's gonna pit, but that's a lot of cars, a big gaggle. Like, if you look at the minimap on the right, that's a lot of queues forming here.
She does have some time to work with here, though, to try and get past these cars. She's now only about 13 seconds off the lead of Kickert, having made up about another 12 or 13 seconds since she pitted.
She's just picked off the checkmate of Kramitsky, number 13 car. So that's a lap.
Again, the Bentleys seem to be in a middle ground they seem to struggle with.
Oh, and that is Aurora Summers there making a move on Naki Shinsho for 16th position. Great move by the Canadian rookie. It has held up Magda Servansky a little bit, though. She's going to have to wait a couple corners to get into a position to pass the Mecha driver, as we're seeing that is K1 in the pits.
Yep, that's the Bentley Kahama in the pits. Let's see if they're going to...
Will he get ahead of this train of gaggle of cars and be a problem?
This is likely going to...
Summers
Comes
gets
out
through,
right
but,
behind
Oh, nearly
Summers.
crashed.
but everyone else will have to get past him.
That actually worked out quite well for Long, because I think he was stuck in traffic a little bit for that first stint, so now able to...
Moimuchu is in. Moimuchu is in from 8th.
So a solid opening stint from the Frenchman from Avignon. This is as close to a home race as he's going to get this season. Turning to the track now, down in 10th place behind the Jones of Diego Alvarez Trente. So we're now seeing home has caught right back up to Kicker. That gap now back to the half second we're very familiar seeing it at.
I'm actually wondering how Simpson are going to play this, because surely they should pit Kicker first when it comes to it, so she
Nicola
gets...
half a second. We'll see if Nicola has the pace to catch the two Simpsons.
My understanding of the pit strategy is it's typically developed by the drivers and their own individual strategists. It's very much discouraged within by the ARWS commission to avoid like an overarching team strategy as such. So that the drivers are fighting for themselves and not so much the team.
I mean, if they're going for the one stop, Nicola slowly reining them in isn't automatically a bad thing. But if they are going for a two stop, they may want to do it soon, because they are losing. I think they are losing ground to Nicola.
Well, they're losing a little bit of ground to Nicola, but they're losing lots of ground to Servansky. I think if I'm in charge of Simpson, I'm hoping that my drivers have decided to go for the one stop on this race, because right now making your first pit stop late doesn't seem to be the play with the pace of Srvanski on this on the opening of her second middle stint here.
I see Nikolai's down to 7.8 seconds. That was shaved off more than half a second off the gap.
Yeah, it looks like Nikolai's really starting to show his pace now. He was bottled up by Takuma Taki a lot in that opening stint. Now that he's been released, he's showing that he's got the pace to challenge these two Simpsons.
I think Taki was the slower driver with that train. Now he's behind two of the drivers who could catch it. We see Gautier coming in.
Yes, this is Amy Gautier in from, she was running 7th. We'll see if she comes out ahead of Moya Moutier, who was also in that little battle with Bradley Dagnall. I don't think she's going to, in fact. And yes, there goes Humbert Moya Moutier through into 9th position. So I imagine William Story will be very displeased with his strategists after that one.
At least she'll have clean air. We'll see if she can capitalize on it.
I feel like Williams.
Sorry.
I feel like William Story is displeased about pretty much anything, so I don't think it's going to.
There's plenty of headaches to be had between him and the Euromotor leadership, or leadership in quotation marks.
I mean, and going back to your earlier point about the clear air, I mean, it doesn't really matter much. Moya Moutier's got the track position. We all know that's far more important at a track like Monaco, as he's now made the move on. That is Diego Veras-Trente for 8th position.
We see lap. Looks like
that's the BYD car, and I can't tell by the helmet. I don't. Is it? I think it's Kara. It is Kara.
13.
Now, Kicker, they're very expertly maneuvering herself ahead of Kara. That buys her a little bit of ground over her teammate.
Yeah, Kara kind of having a lonely race at the moment, but up in 13th, so, I mean, I think at this point just survival and putting on a good first impression is the objective for the Chinese team. As we see, Kara comes in.
Yeah, so it does look, in fact, like both the Simpsons are, in fact, on a one-stop strategy for this race, so that's very impressive pace. Similar situation for Philippe Nicolas, who also is remaining on track. Srvanski now still running much quicker than them, but of course, catching is one thing, passing very much another, especially at a track like Monaco.
We're about a third of the way through the race distance, a lot more laps to go on the twisty roads of Monte Carlo.
So far, fairly calm race, I want to say. Kicker leads by a second from home.
Oh, and that is Nicolas making his way into the pits. This is right at the opening of a one-stop strategy window, so this is a very interesting strategic play from the Holiday team. We'll see if they can work this out. It'd be a very, very long
yeah, 63, full 63 laps in the tank. He's going to the end with that after this stop. Good thing we can see the fuel,
yes.
Much fuel's left in their tanks. Yeah, it looks like he's going for the one stop. We'll see if he can make it work.
And Nicolas resumes this race in 5th position. Now a fair ways behind, of course, Srvanski and Taki. We'll see we'll keep an eye on his lap times though. See how quick he is with regards to Kickert and Home, who are in the one-stop strategy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long race to try to, especially with the full tank of gas and having to nurse those tires for 60 more laps.
And Amy Gautier is back in the pits.
Probably for mechanical
That's an electrical issue for Gautier. He now comes back into the pit. We'll see if they convert her onto the one-stop strategy here.
Not sure why there's so many electrical problems going on in this race.
No, they're keeping her on the two-stop strategy, so it's effectively a free stop now for Amy Gautier, who's returned to ARWS racing. Very much not going to plan.
She's currently in 12th, gets out ahead of a couple cars.
Yes, comes out ahead of Pierre Saint Laurent and, of course, Magda Srovansky, who's coming around to effectively lap these cars.
Yes, Srovansky can't get held up by traffic if she's on the two-stop, because you can't. You have to really put the laps in, because you're gonna lose that in the pit stops.
Yeah, she's not too far behind now. The only car between herself and the Simpsons is that. I think that is Pierre Saint Laurent. So Srovansky's done a fantastic job in this middle stint.
Question is if they have the pace to make up one more stop that the Simpsons won't have to make. Still staying out. How long are they going to keep this up?
Well, ideally, they'd probably be looking to make it approximately halfway. It's just a case of Nicola making that one and only pit stop very early in that window.
We know Nicola's behind Taki again. We'll see if Taki will become an issue once more, since Nicola's going to have a heavy fuel load that's going to hamper him.
Nicola coming through now. That's a 1:22.7. That's exceptionally quick, considering he has to nurse those tires for 60 laps. You have to be wondering exactly, is Nicola hoping to jump ahead of the Simpsons here, and then just basically become a bit of a rolling roadblock, and win the race by that way?
Well, we'll see. I looked at the times between the Simpsons as well as Srovansky, and it's pretty even now.
There's a 1:25.4 on Srovansky's last lap, as we see that is Taki there making a bit of a diving move to lap Kalon there. Taki trying to catch up to Srovansky after those after the Hungarian made put a bit of a gap, jumped ahead of Taki, in fact, in the race order.
And we see, well, we're not even halfway done in. It looks like more than half the grid's already been lapped. So 12th place Gautier now a lap down.
It's 1:24.2 by Srovansky on that last lap in clean air. That is still about a second quicker than the Simpsons, who now are encountering again a little bit of traffic here. That is Yamamura and Václav Malish ahead of them, battling for 10th position.
Yeah, that's a problem for if you're trying to lap guys vying for position. That could be problematic.
Also has to be said that Srovansky did a 25 the previous lap before setting a 24.
I think that was she was likely encountering traffic on that lap. That's probably it. Is seeing Moy Moutier make a bit of a daring move around the outside of Martin McFry that is at Massenet and gets the move done. Not for position, but to be putting yourself in that position against any car is quite a sight to behold.
Well, the two Simpsons just got
they're getting a bit bottled up here, trying to find their way past Akira Yamamura. That's really allowed Václav Malish to put a gap on the Adriatica.
They got blocked big time by the Adriatica driver. I wanted to say something, but
their tail as well, so.
This is actually a battle for position now between Yamamura and Gautier. Gautier, of course, still recovering after that electrical issue that forced her to pit very soon. And we have a car slow on the straightaway. It's Nathanael Cameron with a transmission issue. Oh gosh, that's a really tough break for Jones, who, of course, they switched from Ford to the VW engines, the rebadged Bentleys, as a result of their horrendous reliability last year, and already Cameron out of this race early, so they still have some work to do to get that car as reliable as they would like.
Quite unlucky for Jones that they still have Torrente 9, so it's not over yet.
Gautier has now made her way past Yamamura and is now actually seems to be holding pace with the leading Simpsons. Of course, she's on much fresher tires and than those two cars, so it is to be expected a little bit, but it is at least heartening a little bit to be able to see yourself able to hold pace with the leaders, even if you are a lap down.
Yeah, Diagonal's in for his first stop.
Yeah, this is a bit more of a traditional point where we would see your one stop of the race being made. This is lap 41 for Diagonal. He's been minding his own business. It seems like he'll be coming out in clear air here as well, so hopefully looking to get a bit of track position over his rivals in what is basically a battle for 7th. I think with Gautier's issue, it's basically between himself, Watson, and Moyamoudier in the battle for. Well, it is 6th now. After Yancho's retirement. And Humbert Moyamoudier is out!
Oh, there it is! Humbert Moyamoudier, who has probably lapped someone for the first time ever, has retired with a gearbox failure at Porsche just before the tunnel, and that puts Daniel up a place.
Since that is at least put aside safely, so won't be too much of a disruption.
As the aliens are taking the number 2 car for precautionary measures to see if Moyamoudier wasn't an alien during the 2023 season.
Yes, and also to put him in quarantine to keep him away from everybody else. As we're seeing Gautier there make a move on Vincent Malech for 9th position now. The French woman trying to recover from those earlier issues in this race.
I've heard scientists say that Moyamoudier finishing 3rd because of reliability. That's literally the same place as his teammate 2 laps ago.
And that's the same issue as well. Oh, Jacques Cousteau must be absolutely livid with his transmission department.
Well, the reliability continues to disrupt the Jones, even with the new engines, it seems.
I wanted to say it may be a scientific anomaly for Moyamoudier to finish 3rd in a season where he was the slowest driver. Of course, we know.
Oh no, that's Edvard Holm again in trouble. Transmission issue for Holm as well.
Is there an expiration date on those gearboxes?
Blessing from the Bishop has not helped him. It seems that car was blessed before the race.
Is there an expiration date for those gearboxes? That's the 4th gearbox failure in the last 4 laps? What is going on?
Well,
what is going on?
We do see a lot of gear changes throughout this lap, so it might just be that the gearboxes aren't robust enough to handle the streets of Monaco.
Well,
Paul may become a priest himself at this rate with the amount of patience he needs.
Well, maybe I would still blame Humbert Moyamoudier for this. Because they're, like, those gearboxes not letting me finish what I wanted to say about Moyamoudier, that being the slowest driver in 2023, still finishing 3rd, because of a point system that basically prioritizes reliability over anything else.
It's a rather odd line for Mouse. It's gonna go to let that car through.
It should absolutely be studied, and I do think that was the first time when we actually lapped someone in an ARWS race.
Speed of lapped, I mean, now the kicker's all alone with Stefanski coming, reeling her in.
Is that lead gap now down to 6 seconds, but both cars still yet to pit one more time. Of note, though, is the fact that Philippe Nicolas within 20 seconds of Kicker. This is really starting to play into the hands of the reigning world champion. He's looking like he could be a factor to take his 12th career ARWS win in this race.
Right now, we're about the halfway point and only 6 cars remain on the lead lap.
This is Kalon now trying to find a way around Aurora Summers for 11th place. Summers has been doing a fantastic job in this car, it has to be said, considering the fact that he, as mentioned previously, the Younglong is a bit down on power compared to the W12 Bentleys and Hama and tuned Bentleys. She's hanging right in there. Certainly has been quite a bit more competitive than her more experienced teammates throughout this weekend. So very good debut here for Summers. And able to hold off Kalon currently is seeing. That is, in fact, an issue for Václav Malish. That's a transmission issue on the checkmate. Oh, that's a shame. He was having a good race there, up into 8th position, but...
Remind me, do teams make their own transmissions, or is there a single, like...
No, there's, teams make their own transmissions, but as it is, it's, well, they can outsource it, I suppose, but, I think it's just a case of the, again, the amount of gear changes we see during a single lap here at Monaco is just causing a lot of these issues, I would imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't see the smaller teams like Mecca or Adriatica building their own transmissions like Jones would. They probably do outsource them to someone like X-Track or a similar manufacturer. Maybe it could be, if they all use similar gearboxes, maybe we can see if that's having an issue. Is this Gautier still right behind, or is that...
Yeah, that is Gautier. She's still being able to hang on to the back of Kicker all the way through this.
Yeah, that's been really capitalizing. Yeah, really taking advantage of the slipstream to use the slip Simpson to help get past some of the cars she needs to pass.
That is, let's check the lap times here. It's a 1:25.1 for Kicker on that previous lap, on the previous lap. Servansky 1:25.2. So I think the tire difference is very much evening out between those two. Taki with a 1:24.9 on his previous lap, and Nicola with a 1:24.1. So Nicola still the quickest. He's got the freshest tires of the front four, and it looks like it's going to be the top four who are really going to be duking it out for this race win, with Final Watson a full half a minute behind Nicola in 5th place.
I believe the Marches are using the Pirellis, which are pretty hot hot on pace early on, and I think Nicola and Kicker are using the more balanced Michelin tires, if I'm reading my notes correctly.
And that is Kicker into the pits right at the halfway mark of this race. New race leader is Magda Servansky as Kicker is in for service here. This will be a very critical few laps. She does seem to be coming out in relatively clear air. There is a little bit of traffic in front of her, but there will be the opportunity to put in some quick laps here and hopefully maintain her ultimate advantage over Servansky, who still needs to make one more pit stop during this race.
Well, that's actually the first lead change of the race, I believe, because Kicker was on pole and she held it on until this pit stop. So, final lead change in ARWS 2024 as Nicolai here finally raced in at the front, something he was unable to do last year, but because of the way the point system worked, he was the champion. I would still say, considering his talent, he is still a deserving champion. Like, at least it wasn't Muimuche. I'm gonna be like James Hunt going on about Patrese or like René Arnoux and just keep criticizing Muimuche because that's the only thing I'm good at. As here's Martin McFly with one of the young ones. I think that's Fu Wen. A battle for 16th place.
I think the last car's running. I can't recall. Now Fu Wen's been, I think, clearly like the slowest driver on track. I think so.
I think Fu's been pretty solid, all things considered. He hasn't been atrociously far off the pace. He's certainly outmatched by his teammate Alberto Cara, but I think most of the drivers on this grid would be outmatched by Alberto Cara. So that's certainly no shame in that statement. And I mean, you can see he's really pressuring Martin McFly, who is a two-time ARWS winner and has shown himself to be among one of the better drivers in the sport, as seeing Naoki Shinjo into the pits for Mecha. But Fu Wen has been perfectly reasonable choice by Yang Wang as a second driver here. Definitely, if there's been any skeptics over his qualifications, I think he's putting those to rest here. He's certainly no Humbert Moyamoudier.
I mean, it's a bit of a swerve signing, having been signed from LMP2s and supposed to go to Proton for the hypercar class, but I think at the 11th hour they want a Chinese driver, and it's gonna be hard to turn that offer down. I think for anybody.
Oh, that is
Gauthier.
That sounded like a bit of an issue for Gauthier, but no, that's just her making her way around the Grand Hotel hairpin. What I was going to say... I think
that was an issue of a skill kind.
Or tire wear. It could also be trying to handle the tires.
Yeah, so, what I was trying to say there is, Servansky there seems to be actually losing time to Kickert now that Kickert's on the fresh tires. The previous lap was a 1:25.4, and Kickert had just put in a 1:22.9, so, Kickert is currently looking good to maintain her position as the, well... Of course, I'm forgetting in all of this the fact that Philippe Nicola also doesn't need to pit. But yeah, it does look like Servansky won't be able to jump ahead of Kickert when she makes her pit stop. Looks like this race... but it does look like with the gap there between Nicola and Kickert, that this is going to be Nicola's race to lose.
I mean, he's going to be defending the tires off that car, as you said earlier, Sally. Because, again, if he loses that position, he's not going to get it back, because he has the worst tires.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Crucially, we can see Taki and Nikolai are in the same shot now, but just split by the mecha of Shinjo. So, it's only 2 seconds. And Nicholas is catching up, so I feel like it's going to happen within a few laps as here's Nikolai through on Shinjo, and now the next car in front is the Racing Point of Taki.
Why turn around for Koenigsegg? They were the engines to have last season. Now there's only one team left holding them. Incidentally, Ford, who had a worse reliability record, ended up getting the lion's share of the teams this season.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that's worked out. So, I think last season, well, of course, Euromotor famously ripped up their agreement with Koenigsegg midway through 2023 and switched to Ford. Jones were always with Ford. Foxdale and Peak switched from Koenigsegg to Mugen Honda and Yongwang Power respectively. Again, they're seeking to emulate Holiday's success with the more reliable, lower powered engines. I'm trying to think of who else had Koenigsegg's last season.
Punch Block Monster
Foxdale?
team.
Yes, Block Monster, of course. Block Monster was the other team with the Koenigsegg engines. Of course, they are now the Yongwang Racing team, so of course they're not using Koenigsegg's anymore.
Well, I say that I know Yongwang did not take many of their facilities. They have a facility in Banbury, the old past F1 facility. Incidentally, not far from the Jones race main headquarters, so they haven't really, I wouldn't say they're a direct continuation of Block Monster. They just took the entry.
Yes, that's what I mean by that. Sorry, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they took much of the staff from the struggling, the now defunct German team.
It's 1.1 between Taki and Nikolai. It's going to happen very soon, I think.
Well,
Nikolai number 1.
He's going to catch Taki. Whether or not he can pass the Racing Point is a completely different matter.
And here's Servansky, 25.4 last lap. That was about a second slower than Nikolai, about similar to Taki.
Yeah,
about a tenth off.
Servansky and Taki, of course, on the two-stop strategy, they have similar amounts of tire wear. Nikolai has a few laps fresher tires and a pair of them, so it is understandable he'd have the pace advantage at this point in the race. But you would be expecting the Holiday driver to be managing his tires a little bit more circumspect, but he evidently has a lot of faith in those tires he currently has on his car, the brand of which I've completely forgotten.
For the Racing Point?
No, for the Holiday, sorry.
I believe they're doing the sensible thing with the Michelins. Like, they're the balanced tire option. Like, most teams took the Michelins.
Yes, that's, so yeah, he has a lot of faith in the Michelin tires. Thanks.
I know the Michelin Pirellis, which they run pretty hot, but there's concerns about their long-term reliability. And then Goodyears are still developing their tires, so the three teams running them are probably not going to be that competitive for the first half of the season.
So half a second now. We've been a solid race up front. Summers has fallen behind Lon. Was that a on-track overtake?
Yes,
it was.
That was on track. Able to follow Final Watson past the Peak Motorsport entry there of Summers, who then neatly closes off the opportunity for Anu Võsu to take the position. Võsu trying to poke her nose in there on the inside of Massenet, but again, Summers really ardent with her defense there. This has been a fantastic debut for the Canadian.
Well, with a team named like Pigyang Wang, it can't get any better, right? But 130, that's a slow.
Yeah, I'm wondering what happened to her on that previous lap. It might have just been allowing some of the lead lap cars through there. Just trying to stay out of the way, hopefully not get tripped over. As you see now, Taki and Nicola and Emma Kickert now trying to weave their way through traffic. This is the top 4 in the race within about 5 seconds of each other. As you see Swarovski go through Portier there, and then closely followed by Taki, by Nicola, and Kickert in 4th.
Taki's been a very strong defender, so this could really make things go south. I mean, I'll see Nicola let Taki. Taki's being a bit oddly courteous, letting the 2 drivers through.
No, that was Fuwen in the young one.
Oh, the
Taki is still ahead of them, trying to get around the Foxdale there of McFry.
This could be a nasty defense train over here if Taki is as aggressive with his defense as he was in the first quarter of the race.
That's not the line.
Yeah, you shouldn't be trying to get past someone entering. Oh, and that is Philippe Nicola looking to the inside of Takuma Taki for 2nd place.
No.
Cannot make it stick. Good defense there by Taki to hang on to 2nd.
They're stealing time from each other. That's good for Swarovski. It's 5 seconds again.
Yes, this is what the Hungarian wants to see, though they can build a gap, because they do have one more pit stop to make.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain she'll be in the battle between for the win between Nicola and Kickert, although she probably can catch back up on the pressure tires. If this
defensive battle continues, she just might.
Yeah, it's but her primary opposition at this point is fending off Takuma Taki, and oh no, Nikolai is slowing! Nikolai is slowing! It's a suspension failure on the holiday, and he parks it right at the apex of the Nouvelle Chicane.
That's not the place, Philippe.
I'm not sure he had much of a a choice there. That car was not going to get much further with the suspension completely collapsed on the right rear like that. That is a big shame for Philippe Nicola, who had a very good shot to win this race, but he is now out, and Emma Kickert is now in the box seat to try and take this race win.
And that's gonna put Watson into 4th.
Not a good start for HRT. No points for the defending champions at a race. Well, the 2 DNFs, sorry. I remember. Forgot.
That's going to put Watson into 4th. So let's see how that goes, because Watson had to pit for issues early in the race.
Yeah, I think Watson still needs to make another pit stop, as does Gauthier. But Dagnall should be good to finish. I think when Watson makes his final pit stop, he should still come out ahead of Dagnall. He has about half a minute on Dagnall currently, so that should be plenty of time to make a pit stop.
Our top 10, I guess, Taki, Watson, Dagnall, Gauthier, Nicolas Yamamura will be in 7th after Nicola is knocked out. Saint Laurent, and then Lon will be in 9th. So I think that's a bit of a turnaround considering the difficulties Lon had earlier in the race, being back in the top 10.
Yeah, and that's also going to promote Aurora Summers into the top 10, who's really been having a fantastic race. I cannot say enough how impressed I am with her in that car. She's still holding off Anu Võsu for 11th place. Does she need to make another pit stop? Yes. I think Summers and Võsu need to make another pit stop, but they are running very well.
That's a bit of a group for me, because that's for also position. Yep, Kermitsky is now in 12.
Muffled, by the way, Doc.
Yeah, your mic's a bit.
That's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh right, I think I accidentally covered my the microphone port.
No big.
Like an idiot.
Actually, that is a very slow lap by Pierre Saint Laurent. This is a bit of a queue forming behind the Bentleys. Saint Laurent running 1 minute 28, Lon running 1 minute 28, Summers again defending from Võsu. running a 128. Võsu has the pace, but just cannot seem to find a way past Summers currently.
Dave Kremnitsky is, yeah, he's there. And is that Kara? Yep, he's also in contention.
Yeah, that is all these cars running about within half a second of each other pace-wise. So a lot of parity between the Yonglong and Bentley engines, and of course the Harman Tune variant, as we're seeing Takuma Taki hit. This is a scheduled pit stop. Yeah, for the lead racing point.
I think he's gonna lose a few positions.
Well, he'll drop back to 4th.
Yeah, but there's gonna be some traffic. I saw like a cluster of cars coming onto the pit street.
I think he's gonna. I think he's actually gonna stay 3rd.
Yeah, in 3rd. Yeah, sorry, I forgot Nicola retired.
Back.
He's got a bit of a gap to work with here, so I think the advantage is now with Taki. If he can make up those 8 seconds he has he had to Stravinsky when he made that pit stop, he could jump ahead of the Hungarian. Still waiting for Stravinsky to make her 2nd pit stop. That should be within the next 10 laps or so. But I don't think she'll want to leave it that long, because Taki should be pretty rapid on these fresh tires.
Well, Stravinsky needs to cover Taki, otherwise she's gonna lose place to him, almost certainly. So,
and indeed,
she does so immediately.
Gunter Steiner has called in Stravinsky to cover off Taki, and that puts Emma Kickert back into the race lead, the pole sitter. Stravinsky should easily come out back ahead of Taki in 2nd place, as we're seeing Fry make his 2nd pit stop. And Stravinsky, in fact, also ahead of Fuan and Nakijinjo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she comes out right ahead of them. Very eager to block those two.
I thought it was the yellow flag. Probably just waffling here. Yeah, no yellow flag. That's Stravinsky's 2nd then, as I think McFry pit, but it's not really important to this race.
Yeah. And Võsu now pitting. Võsu getting out of that train behind the whole behind both the Bentleys. I think a lot of those cars are on 2-stop strategies, so this could really play into Võsu's hands here if she can get in some quick laps and jump ahead of both of them. But she will come up behind a couple of cars. Although no, those are that is Dagnall and Gauthier, so she won't have to worry about those two.
That's about the 5th between Dagnall and Gauthier.
Not too familiar with the younger Dagnall. I'm not sure about his performance. I believe he was an F1.
He's the elder brother of Mark Dagnall. And, well, he's not really been noted for his performance so much as his development prowess. So this could be his hiring if he survives the Euromotor merry-go-round of drivers and hangs on to that seat. We could be seeing some improved performance as again he's been well reputed for his technical feedback, as we're seeing Final Watson make his final pit stop. And we're seeing the, I think that's the Peak Motorsport crew in the pit, as well as... Ooh, fortunately they did actually get out of the way there. That was just a issue with the camera there, but Aurora Summers now in. This will actually be quite critical, because she is, this is about a lap or so after Anu Võsu made her pit stop. Can the Peak Motorsport crew get their driver out ahead of Võsu? No, they cannot. Võsu is ahead, and that will effectively net her into 10th position.
That's good for the Hamans, the other mid-level team. They just stuck around the other minnow engine supplier. I'm sure they'll be happy to see this. I think they're thinking long-term with the Adriaticos at this point. I'm pretty sure they were supposed to be the old Bentley engines, and then there was a whole kerfuffle about that.
I know they're They're Bentley W12s, but they've been tuned by the Harman tuning manufacturer, so that's where. So they are effectively the Bentley W12s, just modified slightly for Adriatica's purposes, and we're seeing PR Saint Laurent pit now trying to presumably cover off Voisu and also Summers on those fresh tires. Will the Canadian be able to make out ahead of both of them? I'm not sure. I think that's Voisu coming through now. Indeed, yes, she's jumped ahead of Saint Laurent as well, so that is Voisu up into about a net 8th position, but Saint Laurent comes out right ahead of Aurora Summers. Believe we're still waiting on Kalon, Andrei Kremnitsky, and Alberto Carrot pit amongst this group.
Yeah, I believe this is the 2-stop window right now.
Yes, as we're also seeing Wen in the pits. We'll see if I think I imagine we'll come out back behind Martin McFly. We saw him battling the Ulsterman earlier in this race, but yeah, there goes McFry through back into 15th position, and Wen will resume the race in 16th. The last car still running currently.
Since this is the X86 GP2 graphics package, we've actually had some changes, positive changes, since the last race in Macau. Notably, you can actually finally see the +1 lap instead of just the gap to the leader without showing the number of laps, which is very helpful, as well as the reason for retirement whenever it pops up, and also the number of pits each driver has made. Well, as they pit, it shows which time, like how many pits have they done. So some quality of life improvements to the broadcast, for which we need to thank especially Hatcher, who's been making the mod, and all the testers, and it's a very good broadcast package.
Yes, thank you very much for this. And I think that's a problem for Kalon. He seemed to be slowing here for the... Oh no, that's just allowing Final Watson through. Sorry, false alarm here, but Kalon is fine, still running in 8th position.
That's a weird place. Someone's coming, one of the checkmates coming in.
Oh no, I think that is no, that is Kremnitsky actually making his way into the pits. The second pit stop for Kremnitsky. We'll see where he comes out with regards to the battle from Voisu on back. Voisu is through.
Behind.
And Saint Laurent is through. Summers is through. Kremnitsky resumes in 13th position. Ooh, comes out right in front of Wagner Servansky! Oh, and that's contact between the two drivers there. That doesn't seem to be any damage there, but that is really going to, that really puts a scare up Magda Servansky there, who almost got herself taken out of the race by Kremnitsky there. Fortunately, there was no lasting damage from either of those cars. Servansky through without too much issues, and will be able to continue on, but my goodness, that was alarming. A
bit of nervous unrest here between the Hungarian and the Slovak driver, driving for an Austrian and a Czech team respectively. So, very
two Austrian
Central
teams,
Europe scenario.
Very strange saying 2 Austrian teams, but just 1 German team.
Well, I think I'm not so sure what the situation is with Peak Motorsport, but of course, as we're seeing Amy Gauthier into the pits, of course, March 16 is the operation owned by Toto Wolff, and of course, their team principal is Gunther Steiner, in a bit of a dream team for a lot of people interested in the management side. They're very interested to see exactly how this team operates within the ARWS fold. A lot of people think these two have a bit of an advantage in the management side of things. So we'll see exactly how.
Dagno's got past Gauthier.
Oh.
Got through on the pit stops, looks like.
Yes, that was, Gauthier pitted. I think she just came across the timeline just ahead of Dagnall when she did. But Dagnall was running ahead of Gauthier anyway during that last stint. And Dagnall also doesn't need to pit again, so as we're seeing Kalon into the pits now.
Right, we're approaching the 2/3 mark, so...
This is a bit of a late pit stop for Lon. I'm not entirely sure this strategy call was the correct one. I think he's going to lose. Yes, you see on the position tracker on his dash there, he's losing a bunch of spots to the drivers he was...
Again, to get ahead of Kremnitsky, should...
Yeah, comes out right ahead of Kremnitsky.
I believe Alberto Cara still has the pit as well, so I think that may be the last of the pit stops soon.
Yeah, last among this little group of cars battling for about 8 from back. I imagine Cara will come out at the tail of this because he was behind Lon when Lon made his pit stop. No, that's not a battle position. That's just Yamamura getting around Martin McFry. Put the Foxtail lap down.
I mean, so far, I'd say a better first impression compared to the block monster reliability difficulties for the Japanese driver.
Yeah, they've been perfectly reasonable. Not really much to note of in this race from Yamamura. Of course, it's been their teammate that's had all the difficulties and drama in this race, but Yamamura has just been running their own race and looks to be on for a very solid 7th position top finisher behind the I-Freeze.
Yeah, that's that question, though, as of last season, how much will the inline 3s go up in smoke in the closing last quarter of the race?
Well, compared to Servatsky, only 4 seconds.
There's a lot of traffic between those two, though. That's Bradley Dagnall, Anu Võsu, Pierre Soleron, and Aurora Summers.
Traffic paradise. We might as well go to the casino and play some slots, because this is a this is a whole parking lot here.
More so, they're vying for position 2, so they're going to be much less willing to let them through if they're really going to go for trying to get some places.
Saying that, Summers does very politely allow Servansky through. These two were actually competing for the AR 3000 championship last season, so they're already quite familiar with each other. As that's Bradley Dagnall out of the race with a transmission issue. Just as you were saying, Dom, that's an i3 going up in smoke. Bradley Dagnall makes it a double DNF for Euromotor, and that is going to promote Amy Gauthier up into 5th, Yamamura to 6th, Võsu to 7th, Soleron to 8th, Summers into 9th. So I think we're also seeing Alberto Cara into the pit. Summers will take over 9th, and Kalon will still hang on to 10th. After it shakes out.
Not to rain on your parade, Sally, but I don't think I saw any smoke from that gearbox failure. But it's an early end for the Hildegard Shevchenko Neumann's band of merry men.
We'll see in the final results what the cause of the failure was.
It was a transmission
That's a gearbox failure.
Just not handling this day in Monte Carlo.
From 69 laps of 96.
So
nice.
It's a palindrome.
5.5 seconds behind Kicker. I think they're starting to build a gap.
Well, no, I think Servansky is still closing in. Again, Servansky should have the tire advantage she does still need to make her way through all this
we
traffic.
gotta-
I think it's just only Võsu left to get past.
We've
Which
got
he
a
does.
bit of a Bentley kerfuffle going on behind Võsu.
This is 4%. So we'll see
Yeah,
if they
that's
let
Hey.
Lon's actually gotten around Aurora Summers for 9th place, and now the Canadian under threat from Kravnitsky for 10th. So we missed that, but Lon now seems to be looking a bit more racy in the closing laps of this one.
Indeed, as Bentley, the Kahama, the Bentley factory team, have slightly improved from their qualifying performance. So they are now the top Bentley runners of the day. Martin
Fry's pitting
McFly
again,
picked for
or
third
what?
time.
Is this-
Oh, McFly must have. It looks like McFly has a rear wing problem on his car. Not entirely sure what happened there. Maybe somebody ran into the back of him. Who knows?
Well, he did have contact when I think it was, who was it, in the chicane hit him. That may have compromised it and manifest until now.
That does promote Fu Wen up into 14th position, so the
think it
Chinese
was
driver not running last anymore.
Oh!
The tire smoke back there from McFry trying to get back on the grid.
That was
I didn't
Srvansky
catch
and
that. What
McFly.
happened here?
I think he was just
That was
going hard trying to
Srvansky
get a
and
hold of
McFly.
position. Trying to hold the position.
Similar
Oh,
to
comes
what
right at
happened
it
with
to back to Zervansky. Oh my goodness. She's really getting into the wars there at pit exit into Santa Fort there. Again, the Mark 16 doesn't seem to be too damaged, but she will be absolutely livid with McFry after that.
What are the odds of the same thing happening with two different drivers? To the same person. Unbelievable.
He has the pack behind. These people are gonna lap him now.
Srvansky must be cursing the pit lane exit
Taki's-
in
Taki's not too
Hungarian.
far behind either. Once he's cleared this traffic, he'll be pretty in stone's throw of Srvansky.
Well, it's a 9-second gap between them as we're seeing Yamamura in for their second pit stop. Bit of a late pit stop for Yamamura, but they do have a good advantage over the rest of the pack behind them. So should be easily back out into 6th position here.
Kickard ends lap 71. It's 25 laps to go in Monaco. She leads by 6 seconds.
Like 4 cars on the lead lap now. That Yamamura's
Oh,
gonna be 2
goodness gracious, what is this?
This is a traffic
What
jam.
is this? This is all from 7th to 12th.
Oh my goodness, Takuma Taki!
Goodness me!
Whoa! Look at
What's going on?
everybody going
What is
every
going
which way,
on?
trying to find their way around Aurora Summers.
Yeah, Gautier's a lap down on her teammate.
I think this is the place to be right now for the cameras, because we got what, 6 or 7 cars? I don't know where Yamamura's relative to all these guys, but there's 6 cars battling for position in the same real estate, pretty much.
Ooh, there, McFry really running Taki out wide in the Nouvelle chicane. Gautier makes it through, but again,
Burr's trying to get through. Nope.
ooh, yeah, Summers trying to
Nope,
get
bad.
through now.
It's a bad place trying to pass the harbor section.
Yeah, McFry just having to try and be as courteous as he can, but with the streets of Monaco being as tight as they are, there's only so much room you can give.
Well, that's a big time loss.
Oh,
for
and that looks like a bit of
Kravnitsky.
contact there between Kravnitsky and McFry. Kravnitsky there, I think, was not too pleased with McFry's attempt to let him buy it at the Anthony Nose corner. Probably would have preferred him to take that corner normally and then pull over down the main straight. That's
I looked at the lap time, 1:36 to Kremnitsky.
This is a battle for 11.
Yeah, Kara right on Kremnitsky's tail here. A good debut for Yongwang in Kara's hands, at least. Showing that it can, it is very competitive. Certainly the engines, as we're seeing with the Yongwang in Summer's car, also allowing her to mix it up with the likes of the Bentleys and Andrei Kremnitsky in the checkmate.
Well, that's a shame for the neutrals, because Marty McFry's antics have kind of strung out the group between P7 P12 here, so we may have to wait a few laps, see them bunch up again. Emma Kicker leads by 2 seconds only.
If they got destroying the stick when that lap traffic.
So 2 seconds. This is not yet over.
And
not at all.
Has the better tires since Kickert was doing the one stop.
So Kickert's previous lap was a 1:25.9. Servansky was 2 seconds faster than her on that previous lap. So definitely has the pace advantage. Can she translate that into an overtake, though? We've not really seen a lot of overtakes amongst the leaders here. It's just so difficult to make a move. Well, we won't see one now because Servansky is out with a transmission failure. Oh, just past the Tabac corner. That's a tragedy for the Hungarian rookie, who has been driving phenomenally in this race, but now will be.
Oh, look at this! Look at this group. I'm glad I didn't say anything, because I was about to say that I don't remember when was the last time someone won on debut.
Taki is now in an electrical issue.
Luck keeps coming up for Kickert. This place really turned around this half of a lap for her.
Taki's at this match to limp home. He's still second.
Yes, he has a good margin over Final Watson, so should be able to come back out ahead of the Polish driver and maintain second place. But that all but seals the race for Emma Kicker, assuming she can make it back to the make it for the last 20 laps or so.
Well, yeah, for Emma Kicker today, it is a case of basically everyone falling apart around her, including Magda Shervansky, who could have become a debut race winner. But she's not.
At least Williams' story can say that Rich Energy is the superior energy drink brand, considering Savansky's a Red Bull sponsored driver. And he's beating the two Adriaticos right now.
I think Story would say that regardless, let's be fair.
Yeah, but he needs some concrete evidence. This race today, I think, will be it if Taki's car can make the finish.
Well, I mean, Taki and Goto should both be making the finish from here. I think both of them pitted with technical issues earlier in this race, but those seem to be sorted now, and both those cars look like they'll be easily able to make the finish from here.
Yeah, it'll be down to there's been some contact, especially into Sandoval. So yeah, don't count your cash yet.
I don't think we'll be seeing any more pit stops. So the scheduled pit window is closed. So it's only a case of if somebody pits with a technical issue or if they break a wing or something.
We see Taki. He's 30 seconds away. I'm pretty sure at this point is. Can the Fords and that Simpson carry Emma Kickert home?
It's been relatively quiet from Final Watson since that early pit stop for the technical issues, but He's been able to keep it going and is now looking like he's going to get a pretty solid podium result for his efforts here. Will be at least some sort of a consolation for March 16 after Servansky, with that transmission issue of her own, had a shot to win this race, but they will at least surely get a podium here.
Yeah, 20 laps to go. Good. So I'm pretty sure only about half the field is still running at this point. Or about half.
I think it's exactly half, because I believe is Fuven the last one running?
No, McFry is, so that's 14 cars still running.
So it's just over half. With 19 laps to go. Emma Kickard with a big lead.
Fry's the last place. This is probably to be left. Now McFry's now a full lap down on Fu Wen. I think that's 13.
No, I think that is actually battle for position here.
Oh, Kara's up. There's a chance of the top 10 if he can pass the checkmate.
No, yeah. Well, how did that happen? How is McFry a full lap down? No, that's Kara. Sorry, that's my bad. No, he's about half a lap behind Fulan, so not really any chance of a battle for 13th between those two drivers.
We see Kara is still behind Kremnitsky. I don't know if he makes that pass, it'll be a top 10 finish for the Works team, the Works Yangwang team.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult though. Of course, the checkmate has the far more powerful Bentley engine in it, whereas the Yangwang just doesn't make enough power for Kara to easily get past on the straight. So, and not really much of an opportunity for Kara to get past the checkmate, unless there's some sort of mistake by Kremnitsky.
Things are really settled down. I think enough cars have broken down that the field's pretty spread out at this point, except for that battle for, I think it's like the lower point, top 10.
We've got Saint Laurent and Lon running in formation for 7th and 8th. I imagine the Bentley Works team just happy to bank these points at this stage of the race. They did not expect to have a good run here in Monaco, so I think 7th and 8th is they will be perfectly happy with those results. Further on back, it's Summer sending off Kremnitsky and Kara for 9th position. Summers again just doing what she needs to do to keep those far more experienced and certainly a much more quicker car in a straight line is the checkmate, doing what she needs to do to keep those two behind her.
Yeah, he does have that lap. Taki trying to get past. He kind of broke up this pack here with them trying to get it.
Kara's in. Kara lost his rear wing. I think that must have been. Yeah, Kara lost his rear wing. He must have been contact between Kara and Takuma Taki. So that's a bit of a shame for Kara, who's having a pretty solid run for Yonglong.
I think he'll still be the 11th.
He should still come back out in a solid 11th place. But any hope of the top 10 will have to rest on one of the cars ahead of him dropping out of this race.
Yeah, again, like, if they don't drop out too late, because they only 3 cars on the lead lap right now, and Kara's now 2 laps down. Oh!
Ooh, that was... What was
Summers.
that? That was Takuma Taki trying to get past Aurora Summers, and I don't think the Canadian really expected him to try the inside there into the tunnel. No, he definitely didn't.
It was a tap. It was a tap, I think.
Yeah,
That was
both those cars seem okay, but and Klimnicki not able to take advantage of the situation to get back ahead into 9th position.
They may have to do this again with Watson's not far behind. They're probably going to catch them next lap to lap them.
Well, we'll see how the Kara situation changes, because as we mentioned before the race, Team Cascadia actually got a supply of 4 engines, which are notably more powerful than the Yangwang engines. So we'll see what Kara decides and how the... Well, we'll see whether the championship does confirm the application of Team Cascadia or whether it's just a ruse. But I don't feel like Kara wants to be driving around 11th place for long. That's all I'm going to say. Skickert with a 31-second lead over Taki. Looks like a very calm road to victory for the Dutch woman, the only Dutch driver on the grid after Van Nieuwenhausen left the series at the end of last year, probably frustrated with the lack of reliability on that Racing Point Koenigsegg. Yeah, the win and the 3rd place, and that was pretty much it for the season.
Yeah, I do believe William Story was trying to get Van Nieuwenhausen to return to Racing Point for this season, but was unable to entice the Dutchman to sign for a 2nd season with Racing Point. Although that's now starting to look like a bit of a poor decision, because right now the Racing Points are looking to finish 2nd and 4th currently.
It's a good result for them. Taki now has to navigate through the Kamas, the Bentleys. Oh, I thought she was slowing down. I got scared here.
No, that's just Maribel. No, he's is Taki getting past
One
Q1.
Bentley, now it's to the other.
And gets past the other one without too much issue.
They've definitely calmed down since. I think the two Bentleys, and then there's still, I think, Kremnitsky and Summers are still fighting for position.
I think that's Final Watson getting past Martin McFry there.
I think they're pretty quiet now. I think we've got a bit of threshold. Once like about half the field's gone, things are pretty spread out and calm.
Yeah, it's just a case of waiting and seeing now as all the drivers and teams are just trying to nurse everything home and get the best finish that they can get.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of the current top 10, I believe like Yamamura is currently in a good 5th place. I think it's quite turnaround from after the pretty awful season at Blockamonsta. That was a very unreliable engine and chassis combination. So I think now Yangwang, despite the lack of power, I think they're going to have one car finish in the top 10. We see Kremnitsky got past Summers on the leaderboard. Yeah, it's a pretty clean pass to the chicane.
Yeah, looks like a pretty standard overtake. Summers has been doing a great job to hold off Kremnitsky up to this point, but ultimately the Bentley engine won out in the end.
Though still, a top 10 finish for Yangwang if it holds on, I think is a good first impression.
Yeah, they're looking to finish 10th, 11th, and 13th with three of their four Yangwang powered cars finishing this race, which is certainly outperforming their immediate rivals in the power stakes, Mugen Honda. Whereas the only Mugen Hondas finishing this race are Shinjo in 12th and McFry looking at a 14th place finish currently.
As we come up to 10 laps to go, it's now the question of will the Fords have the same problems as last season, and same for the Koenigsegg's of the Racing Point team. I think there's like 4 teams now that run the Fords, quite turn around after a pretty poor showing last season, were it not for Jones's like final quarter of the season where they started hauling in wins.
Yeah, I think it does go to show a lot the efforts Ford is making to try and turn their engine program around after a pretty dismal 2023 in terms of results for the bulk of the season. Well, obviously they've retained. They've retained. Ooh, that was close. Have a look from on board here.
Shouldn't be so cavalier at that, since it's not an immediate threat of losing. Though I think that Taki's now closing the gap. Is that 25?
Oh yeah, I think that will look similar to the issue between, I think that was earlier. I think that was it Taki and Aurora Summers. Just got caught out, didn't expect the i3 powered car to jump to the inside in the tunnel there. But go back to my earlier point, Ford have retained Simpson under the Jetstar branding. They've retained March 16, who also had Ford power last year. They gained Holiday, and of course they've also retained Euromotor, who switched from Koenigsegg to Ford midway through last season.
I think it's now 23 seconds. They gained 2 seconds or so off of Kicker. I don't know if that'll be enough. If he can maintain that pace, he'll catch Kicker in the final lap, but we'll see.
I mean, maybe, but like, Taki still has some traffic to negotiate, and there's only about, what, 8.5 laps to go at this point. I don't think there's really any threat of a battle for the win.
Oh, it's a loose wheel. A loose wheel for Kicker.
Oh gosh, that is a loose wheel. There's a loose wheel on the left front for Emma Kicker. Can she get it back to the pits? Oh, this could be absolute. This could absolutely turn this race on its head. Can Kicker get this back to the pits?
Can she make
she's
it?
losing a lot of time.
Getting through Raskas here. She's looking to enter the pits. She will make it back to the pits.
That's a lucky break,
Damage
but
has been done. I think Taki is gonna.
is she gonna make it?
Yeah, now the question is, will Takuma Taki be able to jump ahead of Kicker? I think he will. There's, he's getting ground Raskas himself through Anthony Nose onto the front straightaway, and Takuma Taki will sensationally take the lead with a late race loose wheel on the Simpson of Emma Kickert, who has been dominating this race so far. She will resume this race not too far behind the racing point, but can she catch him and pass him in these final 8 laps?
She has fresh tires, so she could probably do it. Taki has been known for being a stalwart, a strong defender, so it may not be so easy for her to, even if she does catch him. Pressure's on now. Kicker could start bringing those hot laps in. That's the only hope now to get the win back.
Yeah, we'll wait for timing and scoring to update at the end of this lap to see exactly what the gap Kicker has to overcome over these final 8 laps or so will be.
I think now Gautier is on laps, lapped herself with that.
Yes, so Taki comes through with a 1:24, minute 24 in his previous lap, so he's still got some life in those tires.
5.5 seconds, that's the...
Yeah, so...
That's not much.
No, I think Kicker will catch that. If she's running approximately 1 minute 23 lap time, she'll be, which I think she should be able to manage on those fresh tires. Of course, she'll also be on very low fuel at this point, so she should be able to catch up to Taki. The question is, will she be able to pass the racing point? We're seeing Taki now get out of the Nouvelle Chicane. You can see just in the background there is Emma Kickert, just ever so slightly in the mirrors of the Japanese driver, searching for his 3rd career win, as is Kickert, interestingly enough. Both of them winning their first 2 races last season in 2023. Taki with a 1 minute 24. And that's the fastest lap of the race by Emma Kicker.
Almost 3 seconds.
That is the fastest lap of the race from Emma Kicker. 1 minute 21.4. Flying is the Simpson in her hands.
So not only did the loose wheel potentially make her pit for new tires, so she took the fastest lap off of Magda Shervansky, so that's a plus 10 points because I think she had the 2nd fastest lap already. But if she catches Taki, that's actually gonna gain her points by having a loose wheel, because she did not have the fastest lap, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, so that might actually be she might actually be very thankful for that loose wheel coming when it is. As you can just see from the onboard here, she's catching Taki relentlessly, corner by corner. She's already on the bumper, on the gearbox of that racing point as they're catching up to one of the Yongguangs.
She shouldn't, 1, hesitate, but 2, also she needs to pick a perfect spot. Like, she cannot make a low percentage move here. She can't afford to make a stupid move because she's so much faster.
I think Taki needs to get past the car here.
Yeah, he has to make this move, but Kicker right with him, making that move at the first mirror bow.
Lost some time because the young one was still on her outside.
Yeah, but that'll be fine. She can make it up through these next two corners, but can she set up the move into the Nouvelle Chicane? This is absolutely critical. She has to make this move now.
She's
starting to close in on the racing point. Can she get... No, just not enough of an overspeed there down through the tunnel.
More lap traffic ahead. To probably come to this by the end of the...
Look at a speed in the corners with those new tires.
Yeah, just being basically having to limit herself to Taki's pace there, because there's no way to make an overtake there through that section of the track.
We have another spanner in the works because Gautier is going to get lapped by her teammate.
Yeah, first up though is the mecha of Naoki Shinjo. This is going to be again pretty much at the same spot as they caught the young one. I think that was Fu Wen.
I'll see if this is a repeat. Ask Casino, yep, both are through. It's time now.
I think Kicker thought about throwing it into the inside of Taki there, but I don't think there was the room to make that work. Again, she has to maximize this exit here through the second mirror bow, through Portier. Can she get on the throttle quick enough? I'm not sure she did. It's
a bit faster, but I don't think there's enough room.
I think the problem is that she's running out of top speed here. I think she's banging against the rev limiter coming out of the tunnel. I believe Simpson may have short geared this car. And that's not going to allow Kicker to get the overspeed she needs to get past Takuma Taki, who is driving brilliantly to maximize his corner speed, acceleration through Portier, through the tunnel, and not give Kicker an opportunity to make the move.
Emma doesn't have as good acceleration as Taki does. She needs to get a great acceleration off one of the corners that leads to a long straight, so she can make a pass.
There's no lap traffic for this lap, so we'll see if they can do it now.
Oh, they'll be catching Gautier pretty soon, who is of course Taki's teammate. We'll see exactly how she wants to play this situation.
But the time is running out for Emma. It's only 3.5 laps now, so she needs to make a move.
Yeah, again, just cannot get that. Cannot get the cannot get the acceleration out of Portier to make that move.
Koenigsegg seems to be better in the mid RPMs, pulling away in the tunnel. So I think that Koenigsegg is a bit longer gearing. That could be the decider here.
Oh, she's crawling all over the back of that racing point. Just desperate to try to find a way past.
No,
we have
too far.
We have another racing point up ahead, so...
No. Like, bad acceleration. Much worse acceleration in the slow corners. Free to go.
Koenigsegg's better in the lower RPMs, it seems, than the Ford engine. They're not going to catch... That's going to be a bad spot if they catch...
yeah, they're going to catch Gautier, well, basically right about now. We'll see if she chooses to move over and allow these two to fight it out for the race win. I imagine she'd rather have her teammate win the race, but it might be difficult to try and play any sort of a role in this without also affecting Taki.
Gautier has the same power plan as Taki, so he won't have that overwhelming advantage on acceleration.
Yes, but she will be expected to move over at some point, being a lap down here. And she does, and Andre Kramnitsky is out of the race with a water leak, but we're not interested in that currently, as Kicker finds her way around the racing point of Gautier without too much trouble, but she's not going to be able to get a run at Taki going down into Santa Vot. This 2 laps to go now. She has to make this move. She cannot afford to wait another lap. She needs to get the best possible opening to this lap as she can.
One more car, I think they're gonna run into, and I'll be on the final lap.
That car is the Adriatica of Akio Yamamura. That's about the only car that, yes, I would imagine they will catch before the end of this race.
That's what Taki has to calculate, like how many cars can he put between her and kick, just to get that couple extra. He did. Gautier did what she could, slam the door in the harbor section, but again, that's only buying a little bit of time.
A little closer, but just not close enough. And again, just running out of top speed at the end of the tunnel, going into the braking zone for the Nouvelle Chicane, just doesn't seem to have the car set up to make an overtake here. Of course, she was on the pole, and Simpson very quickly took a 1-2 in this race. Of course, Edvard Holm dropped out midway through. I don't think Simpson expected they would need to pass somebody for position here.
White flag, we start the final lap. I think they may catch Yamamura in the last sector.
Yeah, I don't think they'll catch Yamamura in a position where it will really affect the outcome of the race. Although I could very well be mistaken. I don't think they'll catch her before the Nouvelle Chicane at the very least.
So, is it going to be Taki or is it going to be Kickert?
I think only
half a lap to go.
This is a critical moment here. Can she get the acceleration out of Portier?
No.
No.
She's out of the toe.
Yeah. And now she's against the limiter. It's not enough.
I think
it's all going to be in the hands of Takuma Taki for the final sector of this lap. I don't think they're going to catch Akira Yamamura. It's just going to be, can Taki avoid making a mistake as they go through Raskas? No.
For the 96th time, through Nogus. Anthony Noakes, and it's gonna be. It is Taki wins in Monaco by 0.3 of a second.
Absolutely thrilling race at the end there. Brilliant defensive driving by Taki to hang on to that one under the relentless pressure of Emma Kickert, knowing exactly where he needed to be quick and on the money every lap, and he managed it perfectly. Brilliant win, 3rd career win for Takuma Taki, and the 4th win for Racing Point as a team. Amy Gauthier makes it probably their best result in team history by picking up a 4th place, even if she was a lap down to her teammate by the end of the race. Naoki Shinjo continues his record of finishing every single race since the ARWS reformed to start the 2023 season. Fu Wen, perfectly solid, close to his debut race here by finishing 12th. Võsu finished 6th for Adriatica. A little bit disappointing after her result last season where she won, of course.
The last car's coming through is going to be Yamamura to finish it.
Final Watson rounds out the podium.
And we're going to see the stats in a moment.
Yeah, we'll see the full race rundown now.
I'm noticing Kara got past Summers at some point while we were watching the battle for the lead. Good job on Kara to get 9.
Not entirely sure what happened there, but that is regardless, that's a solid result for both Kara and Summers in the Yangguang powered entries. I imagine they will both Yangguang will be very pleased with their results here.
Yeah, up 2 top 10s, two top 10 finishes for their hybrid power plants. So this is a respectable start, and Kara finally shows he's back on the grid.
Yeah, a solid result for Adriatica there with Akira Yamamura 5th and Võsu 6th. As I was mentioning, was probably a little disappointed with 6th place. But it's a good recovery drive after breaking her front wing earlier in the race. Pierre Saint-Laurent and Kalon, both bringing home top 8 results for the Factory Bentley team. Again, they did not expect to have a particularly competitive showing here, so getting both cars home and banking some points is perfectly welcome for them. Already mentioned Kara, Summers, Shinjo finishing 11th for Mecha. And the last car still running at the finish was Martin McFry for Foxdale.
I'm not sure what happened. He kind of fell off after happening.
McFry had a rear wing failure. I think somebody crashed into the back of him, broke his rear wing.
He also
he had to pit for
he had a collision at some point.
Yeah, Andrei Kravnitsky finishing 14th for, well, didn't finish, but still classified, although that distinction doesn't really mean anything at this point.
A sea of transmission failures, it looks like.
Yeah, Servansky, Dagnall, Malish, Home, Torrente, Moya Cameron, and Ben Fleet, all with transmission failures during this race.
Kravnitsky unknown, only 4 non-transmission failures for the DNFs.
Yeah,
we don't know what Kravnitsky's failure was.
I believe Kravnitsky had a water leak. It came up as that's engine problem. Engines also failing for Malik Sedan and Marco Jancher, and of course the suspension failures for Philippe Nicolas and James Wilmington took them out of this race.
Only 2 Fords finished since the Jetstar's already bad Ford. Probably embarrassing that the Koenigsegg, having lost almost all their suppliers, managed to beat the Fords at their own game.
That said, though, I'm in the championship fight. Kickert will be happy enough to be walking away with the 20-point bonus for the fastest lap here. Servansky with the second fastest lap, and Nicola actually tied with Takuma Taki for the third fastest lap. I'm not entirely sure exactly how the ARWS will resolve that tie. I think they'll probably just both hand out 5 points to both Nicola and Taki in that.
It's either that or whoever said it first, which I think would be Nicola.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's how it was on the old system. Like, whoever sets the lap first gets the tiebreaker.
Interestingly, Vosu put in a better fastest lap than Bradley Dagnall.
Skill issue.
Another thing of note on the fastest lap charts is that Alberto Cara put in the 13th fastest lap, faster than most of the W12 runners. So that just goes to show exactly how competitive he is with that Yanglong package. We'll be very interested to see how that team and Cara progress through the season, assuming he does stay there and nothing comes of the Team Cascadia situation.
I mean, they said they took the Goodyear tire with Bentley too. I think whoever takes those, Goodyear said they're scheduling upgrades later in the season, so those teams may be further up the grid in the latter half of the championship.
Well, importantly, this is also going to mean that Emma Kirker will be leading the championship despite finishing second with those 20 points. That will put her on 68 points for the day, and
I believe Racing Point will be leading the team's championship as well with that second and fourth finish. I think that's right.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah.
Racing Point should be leading the championship in the teams.
I think they should, because wait, where was Edward Holm?
Oh, Home was nowhere near the front. He was 19th at the end.
19th, so that's going to be...
Bad luck continues. Let's see if it was a fluke with the transmission or if the curse is still on him.
That's 12 points for Holm, I think. So... that's going to be 80 for Simpson. 80 for Simpson and 94 for Racing Point. So Racing Point should lead by 14 points.
Plus the 5 points because Saki tied for the third fastest lap.
Oh, right.
Okay, we'll have to figure out the stewards how the tiebreakers are for fastest lap. So.
I think they just hand. I think they'll just hand it out for each. There's no tiebreakers. They both get 5 points. But there may be a stewards meeting for Martin McFly for that collision leaving the pits with Magda Cervanski. We'll have to have a look and see if anything comes of that. But aside from that, I think that's it for the Monaco Grand Prix, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
And that's
see
where
Harama next time. Another
Harama. It's in Harama. Second race is in Harama.
Well, goodbye and adios.